Hello and welcome to Under the Lights, the boxing talk show brought to you by Sportology TV with myself, Ali Drew. On the last episode, we were joined by Dave Allen, who is fighting on Saturday, and he announced he was looking for a new opponent. A new opponent has been found, so he is now fighting Christopher Lovejoy. But on this week's episode, first up, we have the machine, super welterweight Anthony Fowler joining us. Anthony, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Whereabouts are you? What are you up to?
I'm just in London at the minute. I've had an injured neck recently, so Shane sent me to London to see a chiropractor. So I'm standing here and get myself back sorted.
Well, you were out in August at Fight Camp. I think that was the last time you were out. Obviously,
Yeah.
to be part of Fight Camp, you know, in Eddie's sort of back garden. How was that? Obviously, you had a great result. Just talk to us about that experience.
Yeah, it reminded me when I was an amateur boxer. Like we used to travel around the world and we'd fight in like little small venues with no crowd, basically, and just you can hear your teammates shouting. It was a bit like that. Like I was there was not even Sheikh there, Shane's dad Barry. I heard him shouting more than Shane. Barry, he loves it. So I heard him shouting, and it was good. It was a good fight because I wanted to work on a few new things with Shane as my first proper fight with Shane, because our first fight was a bit of a joke fight. The kid had a pair of old boots on, was slipping everywhere. It was comical. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the whole thing, but it's much better with crowds. Like that, they weren't the same. It was a bit more of like a spar than an actual fight.
Do you think that maybe that's why there's been a few sort of upsets and surprising results, especially in the recent Matchroom show? Do you think because it's more like a spar rather than an actual fight, you know, there's no crowd, do you think that's why we're seeing some unusual results we wouldn't expect?
I actually did tweet that because Lewis Ritson wasn't himself. He looked very one paced and the same thing every single round. He never really upped the gears, where with the raw that Jody Crowley's used to, it can give you that little bit of a lift. So maybe that made it hold his performance slightly, but it is different. It is a lot different. Like when my fight was quite straightforward, quite easy, but if you're in a really hard fight, sometimes the crowd can lift you up and give you that little bit of adrenaline to fight through. So definitely, I do think it will be a big factor in a few fights. Like people who play to the crowd, like certain fighters, they feed off the energy of the crowd, and that's not there. So it's a bit of a different feel to it.
And so when are you hoping to be out again? Obviously, we're not having crowds for a while, I don't think. Are you wanting to be out again soon, and are you willing to sort of fight behind closed doors again, if that's what you need to do?
Yeah, of course. I just want to keep progressing in my career. I want to keep moving forward, keep climbing the rankings. I actually got off the fight at the end of this month on the Chisora Usyk bill, but because of my neck and I was a little bit heavy at the time that I got off of it, I've been on holiday, so carrying a few pounds extra. I needed a bit longer to get it off, so I had to turn the fight down. And the main issue now is getting myself back fighting fit for next year, get myself full strength, so come January I can just crack on for the new year, injury free, and hopefully get some big fights.
Obviously, as you mentioned, you've moved gyms, so you're now training under Shane McGuigan. Just talk to us about sort of that move and how you think it's sort of developing you as a fighter.
Yeah, well, obviously Shane's a proven world-class coach. He's trained many world champions. I'm down in London on my own, no distractions, just loads of hard work, and I definitely think I'm developing as a fighter. Like when I lost my first fight, I'd only been pro 18 months, and I was quite new to the game, and I went straight for a big fight. I lost it on a split decision, and I think I've come back a lot better fighter. I believe if we had a chance to rematch Scott Fitzgerald, I believe I'll beat him, become British champion, and start pushing on. So I'm always learning, but to be surrounded by a world-class coach, world-class fighters, it's going to bring me on. That's all I can do, make me get better.
Are you wanting that rematch? Do you think that'll happen?
Yeah, I've been craving it a lot because I kick myself when I think about that fight, because I went in there with the wrong attitude. I went looking at Fitzgerald, I was looking at Cheeseman. I had my mindset on the fight after rather than like the actual fight, which is really stupid of myself. And I'd advise young boxers never to do that, because it cost me. And it's quite frustrating because I know I'm a better fighter, but I need to get me chance to prove it again.
I suppose every experience like that, it's almost good to have it earlier on, because then you've got time to learn and build, I guess, from that.
Yeah, that's what my previous coach Dave Cole said to me. He said, you know what, at least you're done early in your career. you can now learn from that and don't make the same mistake again down the line, like potentially for a European world title shot. So I learned a harsh lesson early in my career, and every fight since I've took really, really serious, and I've won them all convincingly. So hopefully I have learned.
So what is next for you? What level are you wanting to sort of step to next?
I need to be boxing at British level. It's been a bit daft. Like my last few fights, I boxed like around English level, which I know I'm above, and like I said, I've won them all easy. So I need to keep pushing on. Like I'm not getting any younger. I need to be getting tested. Like my last fight was against the English champion, and it was an easy win. Like I dominated from start to finish. So I need to be getting tested in fights and pushing myself and being in proper fights where I'm getting hit back.
Well, just looking ahead to this Saturday, that is the Usyk Chisora fight. Just want to get your sort of prediction on that, because it's an exciting fight. It was obviously postponed from before, but what's your prediction?
I just don't see. I just feel as though like Usyk style's all wrong for Chisora. Chisora, like, he wants to get up and have a fight and have a brawl, where Usyk's the opposite. He's gonna be like really slick, southpaw, fast on his feet. He's really hard to nail down and to pin down, which for Chisora to have success, he needs to get on his chest and make it up a close, rough fight. But I think Usyk's gonna be too smart for that, because he knows better. Like, Delboy's a big, powerful guy. He's gonna box his fight, but it's whether Chisora can make it his fight. Like we said before about the crowd, I feel as though Chisora, he feeds off the energy of the crowd. He always performs come fight night, but with the no crowd, how will it affect him? Like, I think Usyk's used to it because he's an Olympic champion. He's been around the world on the international scene. It's how Delboy reacts to the no crowd, which I think will go against him, in my personal opinion. I hope he proves me wrong, because he's a lovely fella. I was in camp with him in Colwell's gym for a few months, and he's a boss fella, and like, he's funny, and he's a good guy, and he works really hard. But I just think it's a step too far against Usyk, who I think is a big player in the heavyweight division.
This the bubble that they're in this week is actually, I think it's going to be quite a good bubble to be in. Obviously, you've got quite big characters, Usyk, Chisora, Dave Allen's in there. At being in that bubble, do you have to is it hard to stay focused on the fight, because it's not your normal prep, it's not the normal sort of week leading up to it. Even the media stuff is all virtual.
No, it was a bit strange. It was a bit weird, because like, you're walking around and you see your opponents like just walking around and stuff. So it's a bit like, can be a little bit awkward and stuff. But again, as an international amateur, that's what it was like. You'd be fighting a kid and you'd be literally sitting a table apart from him in the breakfast in the hall, and like, he's been fighting in a few hours. But so I was used to it. But as a pro, it was a bit mad, because there's a lot more on the line as a pro. It's like, it's basically your livelihood and you're fighting for your life. So the fella who you're fighting's just there. It's a bit like can be a little bit awkward, but I'm sure it'd be funny, like you said. That like Dave Allen will love it. He'll just be laughing about it him. But Delboy's a bit of an intense character, so it'd be interesting to see how he gets on if he sees probably Usyk in the hallway
dancing around.
Yeah.
Another fight on Saturday. Lee Selby is returning to the ring. Do you think he can pull off the win?
You know what? I haven't really seen much of his opponent, but he looks the part. But Lee's a really talented fighter. He was a very good featherweight, and he's went straight up to the lightweight. So them advantages he had, like his height, his reach, they won't be there now. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on with Cambosa, who's a genuine world-class fighter. But Lee Selby is a really talented, skillful fighter, as his brother was, who's unfortunately retired, Andrew. But they're a really good fighting family.
Yeah, they are very good. It is a jump going up the weights like he has done. It is a big jump, but I presume that obviously the winner of that has been talked about to be taking on Lopez.
Yeah.
Potentially, how do you see that? Depending on who the winner is.
I just think this Lopez is the man, mate. Like, I didn't give him a chance against Lomachenko.
Yeah, did you think Lomachenko would win?
Yeah, easy. I've watched Lomachenko since I was a kid, and like, he's always made everyone look average. Everyone who's ever boxed, he's made them look ordinary. Like, but I feel as though the size of Lopez, he was so big and strong in there. Like, Lomachenko can normally like outbox him and just like fill his way through. But because Lopez was so much bigger and stronger, the early rounds, Lomachenko was really defensive and give away all the early rounds. But the second half of the fight, when he tried to put on him a little bit, he had a lot more success, but he just started too late. And I do think this Lopez is special. I think he's going to keep getting better and better and better. I think he's going to dominate for a few years now, because he's really, really like force that weight in if he can stay down at lightweight, because he's so big and strong for that weight.
Yeah, and he's still only so young as well, so he has got
unbelievable talent. Yeah, unbelievable.
Good 2 years. Another prediction of a fight coming up is White Povetkin 2. Obviously, we all know what happened in the first one in Fight Camp. What's your prediction for the second fight?
I'm just hoping Dylan White can just stay focused this time and he can get the knockout, because he was the better fighter in the first fight. I was watching it. He was in complete control, and then it was a proper freakish thing, just getting knocked out. But that's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. And normally after getting knocked out like that, you need a good few months rest to let your body recover. And Dylan's like a lunatic, got right back in the gym the week after. So
10 minutes after, he's like, let's do the rematch.
Yeah, he's made his game as he's a mad fella, and he's crazy. He just loves a fight, and he's so determined to be world champion. So I love that, and I respect him, and I do think he'll win, but I think it's going to be a few worrying moments in the fight. But I do think Povetkin, the first fight, he was getting dominated, and his legs looked unsteady from round one. He didn't look himself, and White was punishing him, and as soon as he caused him, he was hitting him every single time. So as long as Dylan can watch out for them big uppercuts and big hooks, he should win the fight, definitely.
Looking ahead to 2021, and hopefully this will happen next year, is the AJ Fury fight, which we all want to see. What is your sort of prediction on that? Do you think, it seems as if Fury seems to be the favourite at the moment from people I've asked? Most people are saying Fury. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a sort of dead, Fury's got it?
Well, I've always thought Joshua. I've been friends with Joshua since the squad. Me and Joshua shared a room for years on Team GB, so we've both been really close. And I was always Joshua beat him the whole time. But Fury's just some man, mate. He always surprises me. I thought Klitschko beat him, proved me wrong. I thought Wilder the first fight that beat him, he proved me wrong. The rematch of Wilder, he lost a lot of weight, and I thought, no, he put a lot of weight on. I thought he's going to slow down now and get caught and get knocked out, and again, he proved me wrong. So I can't keep going against the fella. You know what I mean? He always proves me wrong, always. So I do think Fury's the favourite, but Joshua can pull it off. It's heavyweight boxing. Fury could be beating Joshua on points, and then Joshua could just catch him and then finish him. It's one of them fights, but I do agree that Fury is the favourite now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing with heavyweight boxing. I suppose that's why it's sometimes seen as most exciting, because someone could easily be winning it, and then in one punch, it's just changed, and that's it. So you never know. Right, just before we finish, I just want to do some quick fire questions for you. So first off, would you rather win a fight, get the result, but actually have lost, and everyone know that you lost, but you got the win? Or would you rather be robbed of the win, but everyone actually know that you won it?
As long as I won, I'll take the W in this regroup. No, what it is, right? You win the fight and you get a bit of criticism, but you move on. Lewis Ritson the other day, no one thought he won the fight, but he got the decision.
Yeah.
He wins the next fight that we forgot about. That's just what boxing's like. It's all news at that one point, but you then push on. Whereas if you lose and you should have won, you still lost, and your next fight you're still taking a pay cut. So if you can win ugly, win ugly.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer a hard spar, or do you prefer a hard gym session? How sick you've been sick?
Yeah, I love a good hard spar. I feel as though no better practice for your fight than actually sparring and getting punched back and hitting them, because you can punch the bags and pads all you want, but you're not getting hit back.
And I suppose if you're a boxer, you obviously just love to fight, so that's what you want to do.
Yeah. If you don't, you're in the wrong game, aren't you?
And finally, if you weren't a boxer, what do you think you'd be doing?
I'll probably be a personal trainer, like yourself. I'll probably be doing something like that. I've always been into PE and fitness and nutrition and weightlifting. I've always enjoyed that when I was a young kid. Before I even boxed, I was into all that. So I probably would have been doing something along the lines of that, just help me go in the gym. Hopefully have my own gym one day. Because I'm big on fitness and mental health and being healthy and promoting good traits and nutrition. So I'll definitely be involved in fitness somewhere along the line.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're busy, so I'll let you go. But hopefully, when you have a fight date lined up, we can get you back on and have a chat to you.
Definitely look forward to it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Great to be joined by Anthony Fowler there in part one of the show. But now we have another guest joining us who is fighting for the European Cruiserweight title on Saturday live on Sky Sports Box Office on the Usyk Chisora undercard. We are delighted to be joined by Tommy McCarthy. Tommy, how are you? How is it in the bubble?
Thanks for having me. It's very boring at the minute. I'm in the isolation phase, so it's just me, myself, and I sitting in here, just doing nothing.
You know what it is, Tommy? It's a crazy year, man. 2020 is a crazy year, and that brings around crazy situations. I've done the same. I've sat in a hotel room for a day and a half, waiting for a test result to come through. It must be crazy for you, man, because you guys are active. You normally out, training on a daily basis, or you're out doing your thing. Being stuck in a room at the moment must be a bit daunting.
Yeah, it's not daunting. It's just boring. It's just got so boring, and this is Fight Week. This is the biggest show this year so far, and we're in the middle of London, so the place should be buzzing. It's like a ghost town, I'd say. You can't leave the hotel. Imagine if this was on this time last year. The place would be absolutely electric. You've got some of the best fighters in the world in the hotel, all under one roof. But there's just there's no vibes. There's no nothing. It's just so strange.
How are you dealing with all of that, though? I've spoken to a lot of fighters in the last couple of weeks covering fights, and some people are just like, you know what, we fought in amateurs, we fought with no crowds, we fought with nothing, so we're just going to have to take our mindset back to them days and just fight. Is that the sort of approach you're taking going forward for this week?
Yeah, similar approach. And the crowds don't really... All boxers have all experienced fighting without a crowd before, so the no crowd thing is more of an issue for fans, because the fans want to come and see shows like this. So it's more of an issue for them. For the fighters, like you say, coming through the amateurs, nobody comes to watch amateur boxing. When you're coming up the pro ranks, you're always on 4 or 5 in the day before anybody even gets there. So I've fought in arenas at 5:30 in a day, and it's just been, my wife's just been sitting there, so it's not an issue, no crowd.
So on Saturday, as we say, you are fighting for the European title. How are you feeling about that? And have you studied your opponent at all? How much do you know about him?
Yeah, I feel good. I've had a great camp. I've ticked all the boxes, and I've studied my opponent loads. I keep an eye on everything that's happening in the cruiserweight division. I watch anybody who's got a belt. I go and watch him, or anyone who's making noise. So I've had my eye on Bilal for a couple of years, because he had an IBF Intercontinental or something. So yeah, I've studied him as best as I can, and I feel really confident. I know he's a good, solid opponent, but I'm more solid, so I'm feeling super confident.
You know what? I was reading a couple of articles, and you're basically looking at this as an eliminator for a world title. If you win this hopefully puts you in contention to fight one of the big boys, fight for one of the world titles. Is that the sort of mindset that you want, just to push yourself to ensure that you don't overlook anything? So sometimes when there's no crowd, or when you're coming out and there's no one cheering you on or anything like that, you need something in the back to push you further. Maybe in them times where it gets tough in a round or two, that there's this mindset. Is that what you're thinking at this present time?
No, it was just really, I was just making an observation, and then, because if you look at anyone who wins the EBU title, they do usually go on. Their next fight is for the world title, and even in this title that I'm fighting for, O'Coley won it, and he's vacating it to fight for the world title. And my managerial stablemate, James Tennyson, he won it, and he went and fought Tevin Farmer. Carl Frampton, Tony Bellew won it, and then went and fought Makuru. So this is just a pattern that this takes when you win this belt. So winning the European title is the key to the door for a world title. So if this is what's happened in history, why would it stop with me?
100%.
And it is motivating because obviously it's always been my boy who dreamed to be a world champion. So to win this puts me right there on the stage.
You've been out of the ring for about a year, as I guess most fighters have. Not many have been able to fight this year. Was that obviously a lot longer than what you planned to be out? And do you think that it's going to affect you at all, or have you sort of prepared that you've got to get in there and get back to it?
Yeah, as you say, it's all fighters in the same boat, so it's not a big issue. I trained the whole way through the whole lockdowns, and obviously after winning last year, I was looking to get the ball running early this year.
Yeah.
But the pandemic just threw a spanner in the work, so it's just something that I've had to deal with. It hasn't affected me, and the way the years went, it's just flew by. Like, it doesn't even feel like a year since I was in the ring. Like, it's just went. So just have to deal with it, and I don't feel like I'll be rusty or anything because, as I say, I've been training and sparring all year.
Tommy, we spoke about how big a card this is. You just told us that there's some great fighters on this card, some world-renowned fighters on this card. It's on Sky Sports Box Office. It's on DAZN. Is there any pressure on you to perform and possibly entertain when so many eyes are going to be looking at you?
I try not to look at it as pressure, but as you said, it is going to be all eyes on me on this show, and I'm just grateful and privileged to be able to get this slot, to get this opportunity on such a massive show, and to be fighting for a major title. So it's just up to me to deliver. I try not to look at it as pressure, but I'm ready to deliver and showcase myself.
I was reading something up on yourself in the last week, and it was like a backstory of yourself, and it said that you were making, like, at one point you were making more money sparring than you were possibly fighting. You were traveling around sparring. It seems like the cycle sort of overturned itself. You're in contention for a European title now, which hopefully pushes you up for a world title. Just talk to me about how your life's changed in the last couple of years.
Well, I was just going through like a real quiet spell in my career. I wasn't getting any fights and wasn't getting any opportunities, and then I went to a sparring camp, and then that led to another sparring camp, and then I just found myself on that road as a sparring partner. And I don't know if you ever spoke to anyone who's been sparring partners, but the money's good. Because I was going to world class camps, people fighting for world titles, defend world titles. So the money's good. You're in good hotels. You're traveling the world, and it's easy work. And if you're getting good experience. It's such an easy life, but it's not competitive. So you do form bad habits, and you get complacent with your training. But once I met with my manager now, Mark Dunlap, he was able to get my career back up and running, and he's just got me so many opportunities, and he's just rebuilt my career from nothing to where we are today.
You say easy work, but you are getting punched around for every day.
Seriously, it's so handy, because usually if you go to a camp, there's maybe 2 or 3 sparring partners, so you get in and you do 2 or 3 rounds, then get out, and somebody else gets in, then you get in. Like, you're in and out. It's not
full on all the time.
you have maybe 3 rounds. They give your best and give your all, and then you're out, and then you have a rest, then you get back in, and then the opponent, he's tired a bit, and you're fresh again. It's always like, it's good experience, but you do get used to the easy life.
Tommy, one thing I've sort of noticed with the Irish contingent is you guys are very united. You stick together. There's a lot of people that talk to a lot of people in the game. Is there anyone that you reach out to? Because I know you named a few names out there, like Frampton and everything else, but is there anyone that you're quite close to in the boxing scene that you maybe hit up once in a while?
Well, Tyrone McKenna, that's my best friend. Me and him grew up together, and we're more like family. Like, he lived with me through his teenage years, and that's my brother. And as you said, we're all the boxing world's we're all close knit. Paddy Barnes is one of my best friends. Sean McComb, Me and Card Frampton's friends, Tyrone McCulloch, Michael Conlon. We're all just know each other. And Luke Keeler, Gary Cully, like we're all, because the Ireland's so small, right? And so the boxing community is so close knit, and if anybody is any good as an amateur, you win your national title, and then you go on to the high performance unit, and then we all just stay. You're on that. You're in Dublin. Everyone from all over the country. You're in Dublin all week, from you're a kid right through as you progress through the senior. So you become like a big family, and you're with these people all week. So that's why we're all like real close friends.
Just finally for myself then, just talking about that, when you name some of them names, you talk about Carl Frampton, world champion. You look at Michael Conlon, who's on the verge of becoming a world champion, fighting in Madison Square Garden. These guys have fought at the big stage. Now you're at that point of your career where, you know, you win this fight, possibly you could be fighting under the big headlights somewhere abroad where you'll be headlining. How much of an inspiration are them guys to you when you see their career and what they've
done? Like, because it's so close to home, and like I said, these are my personal friends. So when you see somebody who you know actually living out their dreams, it doesn't become like unreachable. You know, it's attainable because these guys came through the same programs that I did. We're from the same streets, all working class backgrounds, and you know, like you said, Card Frampton, Michael Conlon's like big in America. Mick's probably bigger in America than he is here. Ryan Burnett as well, like unified division. These are all the guys who I trained with as an amateur, and you know, who I socialized with. So it just lets you know that it's not a pipe dream. You know, when you go to school, when I went to school, they were saying, "What do you want to be when you leave?" Because I went to a school for smart kids, went to a grammar school.
Okay.
So just shout out me. You know, and when they were telling you about what do you want to be when you leave, everyone, they're trying to push you down that career path, being a doctor and all this stuff. And I always just kept saying I want to be a professional boxer. And they were like, "Wait up," like as if it was silly. But when the people around you have all secured their lives out of boxing, you know you can do it as well.
Before I let you go, what's going to happen on Saturday night between yourself and Bilal Lagoon?
Bilal Lagoon is getting left hook right hand, boom, round one. Down goes Bilal. And the new from Belfast. That's what I'm trying to put into existence anyway. Hopefully it goes that way. I would love to just stop it in the first round and just be done with it. That'd be great.
You know, enjoy the rest. Are you going to watch the rest of the show?
Oh, definitely. Like if I wasn't on this show, I'd be behind it. This is a great show. So
actually, then just going off that, then who wins the main event?
Usyk. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I don't think it's going to be easy. I see Chisora putting the pressure on him early.
Yeah.
But Usyk just using his skills and winning on points.
Cool. Tommy, listen, good luck on Saturday night. I know
thanks very much.
You want to get out of that room, so hopefully your test results come and you can leave the room.
Please God. That's the most nerve-wracking part about this week. I'm not even worried about the fight. I'm worried about these test results. Because I feel great. I know I'm not sick, but I'm hearing about people failing with no symptoms and that. So I'm going, please.
Well, you know, hopefully, man. Fingers crossed. We've got fingers crossed for you.
Yes.
And Saturday night, we'll be watching you. Hopefully, claim the European title.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Tommy, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Tommy. Great to be joined by Tommy there ahead of his fight on Saturday. Next up, we are joined by Kash Farooq ahead of his fight also on Saturday night. Kash Farooq, thank you for joining us. You're in the bubble in the hotel room. How is it?
Yeah, it's all right. You know, I mean, I've been here the last 8-9 hours now. It's quite boring, but just need to get on with it, you know.
Kash, just talk to me about sort of the early experiences so far fighting in this COVID period. I know you've just come into the hotel, so you just had your test done. How long will it be before you sort of get your results and you can do what you need to do?
This year it'll be tomorrow morning, so obviously at the moment you're thinking about the COVID test more than the fight at the moment. You know, I mean, hopefully, inshallah, comes back good, you know, so then you can get on with it, you know. But your mind's on it at the moment, and inshallah, it comes back good.
You know what? We actually spoke to Tommy McCarthy just now, and he said the same thing. He goes, "I'm more worried about the COVID test than I am about my fight."
You know, you're having about 2 fights before you go into the fight, so so you're not even thinking about the fight. When you're thinking about the COVID test, so it is what it is. I mean, but inshallah, everything comes well.
You know what? I spoke to Dave Allen last week, and he said all he was thinking about was passing that COVID test as well. Like, it just seems to be like the main thing that everyone focuses on. But once you get the sort of clear tomorrow, and you get your results, what happens then? Do you get to? Can you sort of mingle with everyone? How does it work then?
Yeah, we can. I think at the moment, obviously, I can't speak to my trainer. Obviously, I'm speaking to the phone, but he's across the room from me. I mean, which even makes it worse. Usually comes and sits in my room and we'll talk away, but we're not doing it at the moment. But once we get a result tomorrow, then everything's sorted. I think you can mingle in the hotel. You can actually move up on the hotel, but you can't leave the hotel. So, but obviously, once that happens, we can do a bit of pad session, do a training and that. So, all these things a wee bit up. Obviously, time will go faster. So when someone's with you as well, you can speak to. You know what I mean? So
Kash, let's just talk about sort of signing up with Matchroom and being on a Matchroom card for the first time. Talk to me about this, because obviously your last fight against Lee McGregor, you've had a little time out, but now you're on the big stage. You're on Sky Sports box office. Yeah. Just talk to me about the change that's happened in the last couple of months.
Yeah, obviously, I was meant to box in April, 4th of April, in the Newcastle show, obviously. I think 2 weeks before that. Obviously the lockdown started, and obviously that was it. The reschedule fight was in June. I think the rescheduled for, obviously that wasn't going to happen anyway. Yeah, no. Then obviously I was meant to box in October, and they couldn't get me an opponent or whatever. I don't know, some reason, they couldn't fly someone over, and obviously reschedule now, and I'm here, and I'm ready to go. But I've just been taken over for last since June, to be honest. And I've been in the gym since. And I've not even been out, nothing. I've not even tried to eat out the restaurants, nothing. I've just been in my house for a break on the morning, running, going to the gym, and that's it. That's all I've been doing the last 4 or 5 months now. Yeah.
So your fight on Saturday, the opponent has been confirmed and is all. You've gone mute.
Sorry, Mum.
That's it.
Hello.
So on Saturday, so your opponent, do you know much about him? What sort of things are you prepping for that fight? What are you expecting?
I'm prepping. Obviously, I've seen him. I think he's boxed for a world title before, and I know he's boxed at lower weights, but I'm expecting a tough night's work. I'm expecting to score 10 rounds. It's not gonna be no pushover, and I'm expecting the best opponent on the night, and obviously push me, and that's all I'm expecting. I mean, obviously I expect myself to win, but in a good way. But he's gonna be there all night. Push me right to the end. Obviously if I get opportunity, to take him out, I will. 100%.
Kash, what do you make of sort of fighting with no one in the crowd? I was at the Josh Taylor fight a couple of weeks ago, and I spoke to Josh after, and he was like, that was so weird because his name got read out and nobody heard maybe about 2 people clapping. But what are you expecting mentally going into this fight, knowing that there's going to be no crowd there, there's going to be no one cheering you on, all the eyes are going to be on TV instead?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of used to it through my career. I used to box up in St Andrews Sporting Club. I don't know whether you know it. I don't know whether you know how it works up there. That's it's like a sporting club. It's like a members only. They come with suits on, and it's quite quiet at the beginning. And obviously as soon as you start out punching, they start erupting. But I've had it throughout my career. And I wasn't really a big ticket seller starting off my career. I think I must have sold a few tickets. That was it. And obviously my fan base built up, but I've been training through the gym. The gyms, I've just been training in the gym, sparring behind closed doors, everything, and no music. And mentally, I'm ready, and physically as well. I've been prepared what we need to do, on the night. So, I'm only gonna find out once I go in the ring what feeling it's gonna be, what it's gonna be like without crowd. So I can't really say, I'm gonna be all right. I'm only gonna find out once I go in there. But at the moment, like I say, I'm prepared to go and do it. Be ready for it.
Kash, I want to then ask you, you've been fighting on like you've just said there, on such a small scene that now you're actually pushed up to Sky Sports box office. The fight's on DAZN as well. So does that give you any pressure to perform, not even to perform, just to entertain as well?
Yeah, of course it does. That's what gets you up in the morning, pressure. Me to obviously put a performance. That's what gets you up in the bed, and it does. It doesn't. It's not. And I don't look at it like that. I just look at it just about winning. That's all I think about, is just winning, and that's my main aim. And obviously, I know I'm not a big platform. Everybody's obviously gonna see me around the world and even UK, and but I don't really take it to my head too much. All I just think about is winning. That's it.
After this fight, what is next for you? Obviously, if you get through it and you get the win, what's next? When are you hoping to be out again?
Obviously, I'm as a fighter, I've always took a fight at a time. I've never really, I've always, even as an amateur, since my bad fight in amateur fights, I've always, even my first amateur fight, I was like, I'm only gonna have this fight and see where I go from here. And then after that, done that, then and I've came this far. You know what I mean? So I must be doing something all right. You know what I mean? So obviously, I would like to box end of this year again if everything goes well on Saturday. And I would like to be out maybe end of this year. That would be great, and maybe push on, and see if I can even get a big fight end of this year, with anybody. So that's my main aim. Hopefully this end of this year, get this through this fight, then we can get maybe a big fight end of this year with anybody.
Kash, I need to ask you about your last fight against Lee McGregor. A lot of people that watched that would know that was a controversial split loss, a decision that went against yourself. A lot of people I spoke to saw yourself winning it. Is there something in there where you want to avenge that and, get back into the ring with Lee? I know Lee's sort of, I'm not sure what stage he's at, if he's going to be pushing up at some point, but is that the fight that in the back of your mind you want that to happen soon?
Yeah, of course you do. It's only defeat on my record. I want to avenge that 100%. But at the moment, he's not thinking about that fight. Neither am I. But because I've got the Saturday job, he's got a fight on 2 weeks' time. I think 3 weeks' time for the European title. Yeah. So his main concern is that fight, and my main concern is the side. But if everything goes well, I would love that fight 100%. Because it's a thing I want to, raise my loss in my career. 100%.
Just a final question for myself, Kash. I ask a lot of fighters this. It's a bit intriguing because I don't know what makes you guys get into this brutal sport. It's a very lonely sport, as I know. I've spoken to a lot of fighters in the past. Yeah. You stand in that ring, there's a lot of people that want to take some money off you. There's a lot of snakes in the industry, but you guys are stood there one by one and you're taking punches to your face. What made you get into this brutal sport?
I think my friend took me down up in where I stay in the local. He used to be a gym there, and he took me down. I wasn't interested. I wasn't really something. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It's not even came to my mind. I wanted to be a football player.
Okay.
I played that, and he took me down. I've punched about bags, done a bit of circus skipping, and that was it. I was about to walk out that gym, and he was like to me, the trainer, he's like, bring your guns and you can punch a wee bit, and that was it.
Okay.
And he was like, come the next night, and I did. He took me in the pads, got me a bit of sparring, and the rest was history. And I just kept on coming. I committed at that, kept me out of trouble, and other stuff. So, if God has a plan, and it worked out for me.
Before we go, I just want to have your prediction on the main event on Saturday, Usyk Chisora. What is your prediction for that fight?
It's a hard one, to be honest, because Dereck is a really heavyweight, and he's gonna keep coming on light. He will make Usyk work for every minute, every round. So, and Usyk's always, as he's clever as anything. And it's either I think it's either Dereck just knocks him out, or Usyk boxes the head off him. So it's I can't decide, but it'll be one of them anyway. So.
Sitting on the fence, are you?
Yeah, I'm on the fence. But either Dereck knocks him out, or Usyk boxes the head off him. That's my prediction on the night. So.
Gosh, listen, good luck on Saturday night. Fingers are crossed that, all the COVID tests and everything, all that craziness, you sort of get through without any complications. And then, we'll be watching on Saturday night because obviously we're not allowed to be there. So we'll be watching you on the telly. So good luck on the weekend, my friend.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Take care. Thanks. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Take care.
Good luck. See you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Guys, that was Kash Farooq for the second part of Under the Lights. It was great to be joined by Anthony Fowler and Tommy McCarthy as we preview this weekend's fights. Next week, we've also going to have some guests, so make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you support the channel, hit the like, subscribe, share our content. We also have our social media links in the description below. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Ali, I think Ali needs to learn TikTok because I still don't know it.
I'm so behind the times.
But guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. We will be back with future episodes. So do definitely stay tuned. Take care.